Princess Jeriath of the Celestial Throne had not eaten in 23 solar cycles. Her translucent skin, once shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that marked her royal lineage, had dulled to a sickly gray. The medical staff aboard the Eternal Dawn had tried everything: synthesized nutrients from 1,000 worlds, delicacies prepared by master chefs from across the galaxy, even rare crystalline proteins that cost more than most planetary economies. Nothing worked. "Your Highness must eat," Dr. Velleman pleaded, his 4 eyes blinking in distress. "The royal constitution cannot survive much longer without sustenance." Jareth turned away from him, her elongated fingers trembling. Food had become repulsive to her, every smell triggering waves of nausea. It was a rare condition among her people, the fading, they called it. When the mind rejected all nourishment, the body simply gave up. Most who suffered it died within 30 cycles. She had 7 left. Perhaps less. The Eternal Dawn had docked at Station Meridian for emergency repairs after a skirmish with pirates. Near the outer rim, Jareth had insisted on remaining aboard, rather than being transported to a medical facility. She wanted to die with dignity, not as a spectacle in some alien hospital. Bradley Chen wiped grease from his hands and surveyed the damaged coolant system. The station's maintenance chief had assigned him to the fancy diplomatic vessel rightly. Nobody else wanted to deal with the uptight alien crew. Bradley didn't mind. A job was a job, and credits were credits. His stomach growled. It was well past lunch, and he'd been working for 6 hours straight. Bradley reached into his pack and pulled out an insulated container. Inside was his mother's chicken adobo, prepared according to the recipe that had been passed down through 4 generations of Chens. The vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, and bay leaves created an aroma that instantly made him feel at home. Even in this cold metal corridor of an alien ship, he found a quiet corner near the engine room, popped open the container, and took his first bite. Heaven! Jeriath smelled it from 3 decks away. It cut through the recycled air like a beam of pure light through darkness. Her nostrils flared a reaction she hadn't experienced in weeks. The scent was complex, tangy, savory, with undertones of something earthy and aromatic. Her mouth, dry for so long, suddenly produced saliva. "What is that?" she whispered. Her attendant, Lady Mira, looked confused. "Your Highness, that smell." Jareth stood, her legs weak but driven by something primal. "Find it now." The royal guard scrambled into action, following the princess as she moved through the corridors with surprising speed. The scent grew stronger, pulling her forward like a tether. She turned a corner and saw him, a human male in grease-stained coveralls, sitting cross-legged on the floor, eating from a small container. Bradley looked up, startled, as a procession of armed aliens rounded the corner, followed by what could only be royalty. The tall, ethereal woman in flowing robes stared at him with large, dark eyes that seemed to contain entire nebulae. "You there?" she said in perfect English, her translator implant working seamlessly. "What is that food?" Bradley glanced at his container. "A chicken adobo. It's Filipino. My mum made it. I must have it." The guards tensed, but Bradley just blinked. "Okay. I mean, I only have this one portion, but you can have some if you want." He held out the container. The princess approached slowly, as if in a trance. She knelt beside him, an act that made her guards visibly uncomfortably, and inhaled deeply. Her eyes closed, and for the first time in weeks, she felt hunger instead of revulsion. She asked softly. Bradley handed her his spare fork. "Go ahead." Jareth took a small piece of chicken, brought it to her lips, and tasted it. The flavors exploded across her senses: the tempts of vinegar, the umami richness of soy sauce, the sharp bite of garlic mellowed by slow cooking. It was unlike anything in her planet's cuisine, completely alien to her biology, and absolutely perfect. She took another bite, then another. Bradley watched in amazement as this elegant, alien princess devoured half his lunch with the enthusiasm of someone who hadn't eaten in, well, probably weeks, given how thin she looked. "This is extraordinary," Jareth said between bites. "What is the preparation method?" Bradley scratched his head. You marinate the chicken in vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, peppercorns, and bay leaves. Then you simmer it until the sauce reduces. My mum says the secret is not rushing it low and slow." "Remarkable." Jareth finished the last piece and looked at the empty container with something like grief. "I would very much like more of this. Adobo." Dr. Velleman, who had arrived during the commotion, stared in disbelief. "Your Highness, you ate. You actually ate." "I did." Jeriath turned to Bradley with an intensity that made him lean back. "Human mechanic, I am Princess Jeriath, heir to the Celestial Throne. I have been dying from a condition that prevents me from eating. Your mother's recipe has saved my life." Name your price. Bradley looked at the assembled aliens, then at the princess. I don't want to be rude, but I was kind of hungry too. A sound emerged from Jeritha's throat, laughter, genuine and bright. Then we shall share, but I will need more, much more. Can this recipe be replicated? Yeah, it's pretty simple actually. You just need the right ingredients. Then you will teach my chefs. I'm a mechanic, not I will pay you 10,000 credits per lesson. And once I am well, the Celestial Throne will owe you a debt of honor. Bradley considered this. 10,000 credits per cooking lesson. He could pay off his student loans, buy his mum a new house, maybe even afford that ship upgrade he'd been dreaming about. Deal, he said. But fair warning, my mum's pretty particular about her recipes. If I'm teaching anyone, we're doing it right. Jareth smiled, her bioluminescent patterns beginning to flicker back to life. I would expect nothing less. 3 months later, Bradley Chen found himself not only debt-free but appointed as official culinary consultant to the Celestial Throne. The princess had made a full recovery, and human cuisine had become the latest sensation in the galactic core. But nothing, she insisted, could match that first taste of her mechanic's mother's recipe. The dish that reminded her there were still wonders to be found in the universe, even in a simple container of chicken adobo.